So the absolute anomaly of a minoxidil beard transformation that you're observing on your screen right now is that of the bearded dragon, who is a YouTuber who's been posting about his crazy results for about 2 years now. And what makes his results so darn crazy is his race. Unfortunately, those of Eastern Asian descent, he himself is Filipino, typically do not get as good as results as other races for whatever reason. Some say it's due to the fact that their biology just does not properly metabolize minoxidil into minoxidil sulfate. Others say there's just a lack of follicles in general. Whatever the reason is, it's just the case, unfortunately. However, I figured I would talk to him today and give you guys an anecdote of a situation in which an Asian minoxidil beard transformation did indeed pan out, and in a major way, to kind of prove the fact that although it's uncommon, it does indeed happen in some cases. So take this information as you will. Let's get right into it. I'm really, really excited to talk to the bearded dragon. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to yet another minoxidil interview series video. Here on the other side, we have a Mr. Bearded Dragon. He is one of the OGs in the minoxidil community, and today we're just going to kind of go into his very, very bizarre anecdote. It's one of the craziest stories you'll ever hear in your life. Well, I'm just totally inspired by this man and every aspect of his transformation, his journey, his personality. I'm kind of a fanboy myself, so let's put it that way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. And of course, he's been all over the place. You've probably seen him on your feed. Go subscribe to him. I'll put his page up here on the B-roll and all of that. So yes. So how's it going, man?
Oh, pretty well. It's a little early here in California, but I'm up and ready. I'm ready for this.
This man was actually taunting me. He was, I was like, I just trudged through the snow up here in Canada, and he's like, oh, it was 90 degrees here yesterday, which I think in Celsius is around 35, and I haven't experienced 35-degree weather for many months now. let's put it that way. So,
yeah, it's definitely, it feels like summer still over here, and we're in November already.
Yeah,
California.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I suppose we'll get right into it, all right? So, your transformation is absolutely, just stunning. Well, hell, just walk us through it, and kind of walk through why it might be an anomaly and why people are really surprised about it when they see it.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, me being Filipino, I'm mostly Filipino. There's not a lot of Asians who can grow a decent beard. Most of the time, you just see an Asian with like a mustache or just like a little goatee, but not really a full-on beard. So when people do see just a beard in general on an Asian, it's surprising. And the way I got there is through minoxidil. So people are really glued to that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're also 6'4", huh? Or 6'3.5"?
Yeah, around there. Yeah, I'm 6'3", 6'4".
So not only is he rubbing the weather in my face, I'm 6'3" over here. I have Lithuanian genetics. We're tall, lanky motherfuckers. And he's over there with Filipino genetics with a full beard, standing 6'4". So hey.
Yeah, they like to call me a unicorn over here.
Yeah. The comments on your videos are just absolutely hilarious. Everyone's like, "You don't look Filipino, man. Like you just like you changed races, halfway through your transformation."
Yeah.
And, it's really, really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I get a lot of those comments.
Yeah. And I guess we'll get into minoxidil did a lot for you. So why did you decide to use minoxidil, and what has it done for you?
Well, the reason why I decided to use minoxidil is because I've always wanted a beard. I don't know why. It was just one of those things where you kind of saw a guy with a beard and the representation of it, and and it kind of represented this masculinity and this toughness, and that was something I always kind of aspired for, because me just growing up, I was always kind of like the shy and like the skinny and the weak one. So seeing a man with a beard, I'm like, maybe if I grow a beard, I'll be one of those guys too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, so that was part of it. But so I did my research first, of course. When I first saw it, I came across the minoxidil beard spot, and what I was seeing on there, I was seeing transformations, and I'm like, usually when things are too good to be true, they're usually not
Not
legit.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so
Yeah.
I would just look. I looked at everybody's transformation with a lot of skepticism, rightfully so. And but then I just looked at the side effects and what people said what the side effects were, and did my own research as well. And I saw that the side effects were very minimal, and there wasn't a lot of investment in it as far as purchasing the minoxidil. So I'm like, shoot, why not? Let me just go for it and just see what happens. What have I
Mhm.
got to lose? And so I got into it, and I started applying and everything, and I forgot what the second part of your question was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well. First off, what you could do is you kind of outline what you started with. So did you start with a little goatee or chin strap? Whereabouts did you start in
Oh,
that journey?
yeah. So I started with a little bit of a goatee. I
Mhm.
didn't have connectors here. There was nothing like here. I could grow, like, my sideburns can go further down, but there's a huge gap between sideburns and goatee and
Yeah.
mustache between goatee. So there were a lot of gaps
Mhm.
that were there. I would try to grow a beard, and it would just look very sparse
Yeah.
and weak prior to using minoxidil. So yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a Filipino friend, and man, can that man ever grow chops? Like this, his chops just like he could grow them out like Elvis. Like it is actually, but that's like the only thing he can grow. It's just all chops, and it is
Hmm.
very rare for especially Eastern Asian men to grow anything that is substantial. And the thing is, I don't know what it is about it, whether Asian men, their biology doesn't allow for the minoxidil to be, converted to minoxidil sulfate, or whether there's a lack of, follicles that have the capacity to be activated in the first place by a vasodilator. What the equation is, but it just seems that minoxidil does not work on everyone, on most Asians. I don't know what percentage of that it truly is, but like you go to the minoxidil beard spot, you go to my group, it's like you see the occasional slight transformation, but in your case, it's like you overrided that entirely, right?
I
And
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
And I suppose the next question is what has it done for you? Obviously it was shocking. Like, was it shocking to you?
It was. Well, I mean, it was a surprise to me that it was working. As I went into this thing thinking that I was just going to use it, and then it was just gonna not going to work, and I was just going to toss it away. But it started working. It took a while. It took like 2 months before I saw anything. So it took a lot of patience. But when it started coming in, it felt like a miracle. I was like, whoa, I have never been able to grow anything like right here. And then it started coming in.
Hmm.
It was so surreal to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, everything's finally connecting, and it was just all coming together. It was just really exciting. It was just a starting point. But yeah, it felt amazing. I was like,
That's
finally,
great.
finally.
Finally. You
Yeah.
were so lucky that, eugenics allowed you to do that. It's like, it's really interesting. So like what would you extend to other Asian men that are thinking to apply minoxidil? Would you and in terms of expectations, like what little tidbit would you give for that?
Well, I would say you got to look at your lineage. You got to look at uncles, your dad, and your uncles and grandpas, and just like guys in your family, and seeing if they were able to grow a beard or not. And for me, I mean, my uncle and my cousin, which is my my uncle's son, and pretty much everybody on my mom's side has been able to grow a beard. Not very like not like mine, but they but they connected. You know,
Mm.
it was a decent beard. So what I would say to other Asian men is if you have guys in your family who can't grow anything, I mean you kind of gotta look at that, and that's unfortunately that may be your expectation. So, but if you do have some people in your family that can grow a beard, then you do have a chance. You know, there's a good chance that you'll be able to because it's in your blood. So,
Yeah. Is it fair to
yeah.
say that you have the best beard in your family now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Hands down, hands down. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Well, take that information as you will in terms of, I mean, I think it's fair to say that, your uncles and your cousins and all that could probably, reach something similar to what you have if they were to apply minoxidil. But I'm sure they have, they have things that connect, but I guess probably the cheek line's pretty low and this and that is low. And
Hmm.
it may be more patches than you or just not as full and that's
Yes,
probably the case, right? Yeah, absolutely.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, so, what was your what was your minoxidil routine? How did you adhere to it? Because obviously it's very difficult. Did you get minoxidil liquid or foam and all that stuff?
Well, I got foam for sure because I
Good
was
idea.
seeing how long it took for uh for the liquid to dry when I saw it on the beard spot, and I was like, yeah, I have a lot of things I need to do, and I don't have time to wait for it to dry, so I'm gonna go with the foam. So I went with the foam straight out, and you know, my routine was just twice a day, and it was difficult at first because starting any type of routine and anything new, it's you know it's difficult to stick to it. But I found a routine. I would shower, and then I would just apply it after that in the morning, and then after before I went to bed, I would apply it. And in the beginning, I was washing it off after 4 hours, but then eventually it just got to the point where I was just not washing it off. So
Mhm.
I was applying it and I would just leave it. And whenever I would wash my face, that would just be when it would come off. But I would make sure for sure that it would be a minimum of 4 hours
Mhm.
because I did want it to absorb. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just twice a day, every day, and if I missed an application, I wouldn't think about it. I would just keep going, just try to stick to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's a good strategy. Absolutely. And on that note, my favorite question, my absolutely favorite question is, what did people say about it? Did you receive shaming from friends and family and the naysayers out there? And what did they say after the fact?
Well, it's actually a funny story. I hid it from almost everybody except for my ex girlfriend at the time. She was like the only one who knew when I was applying this. Um, Throughout the whole journey, I didn't
Mhm.
tell anybody at all. She was the only one who knew. And then after I got off it, after the year, after I quit, that's when I started telling people that I had used minoxidil. And then when I did tell them, it was scary to me at first because, you know, like I said in one of my videos, it feels so, it's such a different thing. It feels so taboo. So it just feels like I kind of cheated to get
Yeah.
it, you know? And so that's why I was afraid to tell people. But when I did tell people, surprisingly, they just kind of laughed it off. They're just like, "Oh, I mean, you did what you needed to do. I mean, it's not even a big deal. But you look great now." So,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of people were just like, "I mean, it just feels like you just got a beard out of nowhere." And I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah."
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of positive feedback, and a lot of why didn't you just tell us? We wouldn't have said anything, you know. And
Mhm.
so I just got caught up in my mind about about how people would react. I thought everybody would react negatively, but you know, it was the complete opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could definitely be very difficult to break that to people. I I also pretty much hid it from everyone, which you know, going back, I regret. I definitely should have been more open about it.
Yeah.
I told my now wife towards the end of the journey, and it was, man, it was hard. Okay, you know, it was really hard, and uh, well, I'm sure this is the main thing that a lot of people get, you know, like they're growing out their beard in that first stage where, you know, it's between getting full and still patchy. And you know, I got a lot of flack for that because I was kind of growing out my beard almost entirely as I was applying. And you know, I'm sure you have some experience um, with that. Around what age did you start? Was it mid-20s, early 20s?
I started, I believe I started when I was 26. Yeah, I started when I was 26.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And around what time did your family's beards start to fill out a little more?
I would say mostly in their late 30s, early 40s. That's when they,
Gotcha, gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
it took a while for them.
yeah, so it's likely you probably would have had to wait that long, and for less than what you have now, right?
More than likely, yes. Like
Yes.
it
Yeah.
would have been a long process to wait for, and I'm like, no, I want my beard now. I want it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So would
Yeah.
you? So would you say that it was well worth the side effects, well worth the toil, and and whatever else came with the journey?
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
if I could go through it again, I would. I mean, it's worth everything. I mean, I did get a couple side effects, but it wasn't anything that really deterred me in any way. So it was definitely well worth everything that I got from it, mentally, spiritually, physically, just everything all around.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, spiritually is an interesting point. Could you expand on that? You know, like what type of spiritual and physical things did you arose out of? You know, because it really is a full style transformation. As look at some of you know the befores and afters of you know his transformation. It's truly stunning. What's the difference is. So, what kind of things truly arose out of that?
Well, it started when I mean, obviously when I first was able to grow the beard, I feel like everything happened after my journey, after I got the beard that I wanted, and after I had that, I had so much more, so much more confidence in myself. Just so much more because I used to be very unsure of myself. I wasn't sure of like who I was and just
Yeah.
who I was rooted in and everything. I was just a lot of uncertainty, and I feel like this having this beard kind of propelled me to a place where I can I can be more confident and I can actually look at myself in the mirror because before I would walk by a mirror or any reflection and I would avoid it completely because I just didn't want to see myself. But
Yeah.
then, after I got this, I could have stopped. Well, it's not to the point where I'm like conceited, but like I wanted to look at
Yeah.
my beard and be like, God,
Yeah.
that's a really good
Damn.
looking beard,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely.
And then
Yeah.
so yeah, but I was. It started with that, and then it helped me in other areas of my life. In my job, it helped me since I was more confident and sure of myself. It helped me get promoted, and
Yeah.
just also having this beard, I'm like, I feel like I have to have a body for it too. So I mean, I was
Yeah.
working out a lot more too as
Awesome.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, all
Yeah.
around. And you can stop me if I'm rambling, but yeah. And also, I changed my style up a little bit. I was wearing more tight fitted clothes because
Yeah.
before everything would kind of like just I would be like a clothes hanger. Everything would just kind of hang off my body, but like
Like a kite.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And yeah, so having the physical transformation of like hitting the gym and all that, and also having the beard as kind of an accessory, quote unquote. Um, it I feel like it just adds a lot to your style and everything. It just it I don't know. I just feel like it adds a whole different dynamic to your style, just having that beard and having that look. And, you know, if you have your hair styled well as well. So just like you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
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 Struggling with self-image is hard, man. It really, really is, you know. And of course, you know, children will be children. You know, you look a certain way, and you can't control the way you look throughout your life. And you know, there's that you know, just big pull of, you know, internally you're happy with what you are, but people are telling you that you can't be happy with it. And minoxidil is just one of those really, really cool vehicles by which you can um, you know, it's just a nice little tool in the toolbox that can really um, fling you an entire realm of possibilities. Like, and this is something I see all the time, and it's great that, you know, you line up with this, and it's you know, when people start to apply minoxidil, they get more serious about their health and fitness, and then they really get into, they go, oh, geez, okay, when I have a beard, I can wear a scarf, and I can wear nice dress shoes, and a shirt that doesn't have like a band logo on it, or not,
Yeah.
not, not you know, not flacking on anyone that wears, you know, graphic tees of that nature, but you know, some of them are awful. Okay, yeah, admit it. There's
I
some of them
agree.
some of them are awful.
I agree.
You know, you go from that place of being a walking, talking meme because it's all you have, to you know, someone. Oh, I actually want to look presentable and good and be comfortable in what I'm wearing. And my hey, it's going to be also be great if I, the bearded dragon, a 6'4" man, was also jacked and also bearded, so the scariest motherfucker alive. So hey, yeah, I'm gonna go for that as well. And you know, from point A to point B, what you have is just an absolute, you know, just a totally different beast entirely.
Yeah, most definitely, and it feels great. It definitely feels great. I have no regrets about taking this minoxidil journey at all,
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. I think one of my uh, your comment section is hilarious. Let's put it that way. You know, like every single comment. I love YouTube comments in general, but like every single comment on your channel is just so hilarious. It's just like, from Filipino, everyone says that now you look black.
You know, I'll expand on that. I get that comment all the time on my channel, and I just
Yeah,
I don't see it myself. So
yeah,
it's so funny to me that, like, I'm like, I feel like I still look Asian. I just have a beard, but people
yeah.
keep implying that, like, oh, you change races and you look like James Harden now. I'm like, I look nothing like James Harden. We just both have a beard. I don't understand it. Yeah, and when I started this journey, it was like there were a lot of comments about me looking like the guy from Fast and Furious. I think his name was like DK or something. And I had to Google him because I didn't know who he was. I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I'll
Yep.
take it. I just
I'll take.
resemble everybody apparently.
Oh man, you're preaching to
Yeah.
the choir, man. I have the most basic, you know, standard European face of all time, and it's like, it's not just like, hey, look, Christopher Eccleston. Hey, look, Conor McGregor. That stuff is fine, but it's when people come out to me and they go, "Are you like my cousin? Are you like I had a cousin a little while back that I haven't talked to, like." Or just just every single week, it's like, are you related to who and who? It's like, I live in Ottawa. I live in a big city with like 1 million people, and I'm still get. I used to live in a small town, right? So, so in the small
Uh,
town, it's like, yeah, understandable. Understandable. You think I'm related to who's it's or whatever. But in Ottawa,
mhm.
in a big city, it's not a huge city, but it's big enough that, you know, that shouldn't
Yeah.
happen. It still happens. So that's my
Yeah.
little rant on people, on all of that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I mean, I guess the next question is, what are your gems in the rough? Diamonds in the rough, gems in the rough. What are your favorite videos that you have made that you truly think could add value to you, the listener, and you know, help them through your journey, or any self confidence issues, or Anything.
Well, I mean, I honestly, I don't have a lot of videos up. I don't really upload anymore. But I would say most of my latest videos. I mean, I guess you could just go to my page and then go to the most viewed ones, and I feel like those, just seeing the transformations in itself, um, I've been told are very inspirational. But my latest videos that I've made are more geared towards um, things that tools that can help towards your journey, and just like my latest video was talking about shedding and how it's part of the minoxidil process, and just
Yeah.
not to panic when that happens, and
Yeah.
they're just, yeah. So that more of my latest videos are geared towards specific things, but my older videos are more towards just, I feel like I talked about everything in
Yeah.
one video. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, what was your intention when you first started uploading? What was it, just to have fun and show what happened, or is YouTube something you actually want to pursue in the long term?
It's actually, well, why I got into it is because when I was on the MinoxTuber Beard spot, I was getting a lot of, a lot of activity on my posts. I was getting a lot of likes, a lot of comments, and I was like, well, um, maybe I could take this into something else. So I looked at YouTube to see if there was some type of representation for Asian guys in the Knox beard community, and there was not, there was just, I think there was just one, I forgot what his name was, Paul something. He tried the
Oh,
journey, and then it
Paul
didn't.
Lee. Paul Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Paul Lee, and then right now there is I'm gonna butcher his name. I think it's Leonard Kayas. I'll link it. Well, I'll put it up here on the screen. He seems to be getting pretty good results.
Nice.
But no one like you. Not even close. I haven't seen anything like you on YouTube yet. Maybe there's somebody out there hiding it from us, but
Yeah,
it is
and so
rare.
that's what I was looking for. I was looking for some type of representation. I'm like, why is there nobody for like any of the Asian guys to look up to, or like to watch videos of? And I kind of saw that avenue, and I was like, I want to be able to kind of show some of the Asian guys that it is possible. Like, I may be an anomaly, but at the same time, like, it happened.
It
So
happened.
it's definitely a possibility, and
Yeah.
I wanted to help people, and that's why I started the channel, is because I kind of wanted to get out there and show people what I kind of did specifically, instead of just posting everything on that Facebook page. So that's why I got started. I wanted to help people, and that's essentially my goal in life. Is just like, that gives me fulfillment, just helping people in general.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I would love to see more videos from you here in the next future. Just on because and I do love your talks on self confidence and all of that. I think that's something that you could most definitely excel in. And
appreciate that.
yeah, and yeah. Is there anything else? Anything you wanted to close with? Well, I guess I'll close with something as well. And that is that's well, I mean, it's great to have you on as someone who is like a Asian minoxidil transformation that is truly astounding, and the intention is not, oh yeah, this is going to work for every single Asian individual out there on the planet. No, this is like the upper echelon of, and it's a anecdote to prove that it indeed works to some extent for a small percentage of individuals
Yeah, for sure.
who are of that origin. Um, but there is this idea that it absolutely does not work for anyone uh, of Asian of Eastern Asian descent. Um, Although it is sometimes unlikely, that doesn't mean that you should rule it out entirely as a possibility. Um, what are your
Good.
thoughts on all of that?
Well, I just think you gotta do your diligence with anything. Don't just hop into anything just not knowing. You got to do your
Yes.
due diligence. You got to go to the doctor. You got to make sure that this is okay for you to step into. And once you find out that going into this, you have so much to gain and so little to lose. I mean, it's kind of a no brainer, you know. it's not like you're going into this like if you're gonna get a beard transplant, you got to spend thousands and thousands, thousands of dollars just to get that. But like this, it's like you just have to spend a small amount and a little bit of dedication for an extended amount of time, and the payoff will be so worth it, so worth it.
Famous closing words. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for. I'm so glad to have you on, man. It was a pleasure talking to you, and yeah.
It was definitely a pleasure. This is definitely something new. I've never done anything like this before, so I do
Yeah.
apologize if to any of the viewers who feel like I've come off as different than my videos. Everything's just kind of on the spot, so it's new to me. So just bear with me here. But it was definitely a pleasure. I'm definitely a fan of your page and your style tips and just everything, and also just the way you edit. It's hilarious. Oh my gosh, I love your content. I love your content. And
Oh, good man. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. That's
yeah.
good to hear from or from a comrade in the in the community. All right, man. Yeah. Have a good one now.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye.
Bye.